Gray was the Yankees' key acquisition at the trading deadline, his first home start for the Yankees.
Well, Sonny Gray has been outstanding. He hasn't got any run support with the Yankees this year. His year has been so-so until he came here looking for more run support today, but an outstanding pitcher they got from the A's.
Last night the Yankees hit 3 home runs late, including a tying home run from Aaron Judge, who leads the American League with 36 home runs. So the task for DeGrom tonight, among other things, is figuring out how to attack Judge.
Well, you figure with 6'7", you've got a big strike zone to pitch to, but this guy leads the league in walks also, the American League. Like any good hitter, the book on him evidently is pitch him up and in, then down and away. It hasn't changed, but he's a very, very good hitter. I'm very, very impressed with his swing. And the fact that he's got the 88 walks, he took a lot of good pitches last night, tough pitches. So we'll see how DeGrom attacks him. We'll keep a close eye on it from at bat number 1 till the end.
There were 5 home runs hit last night in a 4-2 game. We'll see whether DeGrom and Gray can have better success keeping the ball in the ballpark. It's the Mets and the Yankees, all the action on SNY. On SNY is brought to you by Verizon, the largest, most reliable Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Verizon, the largest, most reliable 4G LTE network in America. By Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop in store or online at mybobs.com. And by New York Community Bank and the NYCB family of banks. Visit them at mynycb.com. Be at Citi Field this Friday for Free Shirt Friday when the Mets take on the Marlins at 7:10 p.m. All fans in attendance will receive a Michael Conforto t-shirt courtesy of Taiwan Tourism Bureau. For tickets, visit Mets.com/FreeShirtFridays. Let's take a look at the Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. Jacob deGrom starts the night second in the National League in strikeouts, trailing only Max Scherzer. Zach Greinke struck out 9 last night. He's in the 3rd spot. Clayton Kershaw has been off for a month, and he's still in the top 4 in the National League in strikeouts. It's the Mets and the Yankees, Game 2 of the Subway Series. First pitch is coming right up. Pitching matchup to savor tonight. Jacob deGrom and Sonny Gray in Game 2 of the Subway Series. Here's your Geico Mets starting lineup tonight. DH spot goes to Michael Conforto. Travis d'Arnaud does the catching. Otherwise, the same lineup for the Mets tonight. Mets got solo homers from Curtis Granderson and Yoenis Cespedes last night, but only 2 hits over the last 6 innings of the game. As they fell short, they'll try and get it started against Sonny Gray in his Yankee home debut.
Toyota numbers for Sonny Gray. In 2015, he was an all-star when he went 14-7 and made. But last year, injury-riddled year, did not have great numbers.
And the Coors Light Yankee defense, Jacoby Ellsbury back in center field. Hicks moves over to left. Didi Gregorius playing a terrific shortstop this year, as he does every year. And Gary Sanchez behind the plate. It really just showed his arm off last night, threw out a base runner.
Curtis Granderson has homered 3 times in the last 5 games. Gray's first pitch is a fastball up and away, and we're underway. Curtis 1 for 4 last night, including his 69th home run at the new Yankee Stadium, where he has loved to swing the bat as a Yankee and as a Met.
Well, Gray is a little man that throws hard. About 5'10", 5'11", very deliberate motion. Throws 95 plus, big overhand curveball, cutter and change.
Has that pause in the middle of his windup. And Granderson takes a cut, and it's 1-2. There's Dribble Cabrera on deck, then Yoenis Cespedes against Gray. Yankees change their shift with 2 strikes, move Frazier over to the right side, and Gregorius back to shortstop. And it's poked in the air to left. Right there waiting for it is Aaron Hicks, and that's the first out. You know, I'm listening to the bleacher creatures do their roll call as Granderson was batting there. Do you think it provides any kind of distraction for the Yankee fielders as they know they have to respond to the roll call?
Well, they wait until the pitch has been delivered or there's like a little break in the action. That's when they'll throw the glove up and respond to the bleacher creatures. So yeah, it can. You have to wait sometimes.
I'm sure that they enjoy it, and you can just turn around, give them a quick salute, and get back to business.
Here's Dribble Cabrera, 1 for 3 last night. He's hit in 5 straight games. He's one of 2 Mets in the lineup tonight who have faced Sonny Gray before. He's 2 for 8 against Gray with a home run. And the curveball in for a strike.
It takes very strong legs and incredible balance to pitch the way that Sonny Gray pitches.
Working from the extreme first base side of the rubber. And he's quickly ahead on Cabrera, 0-2. Gray acquired on the last day before the trading deadline for 3 players. 2 of them are out for the year. It's a kind of an odd trade from Oakland's standpoint. Dustin Fowler, who got hurt in his first big league game, and James Kaprielian, who had Tommy John surgery and is out for the year. 2 of the 3 prospects who went the other way, but all highly rated prospects. Here's the 0-2, and Cabrera fooled badly on the breaking ball, and there are 2 down.
He's got a good one, Keith. A good curveball, good spin.
Well, he's ahead in the count, and why do you need to throw a strike? Throw the bait breaking ball there and see if you can get someone to fish.
So 2 up and 2 quickly set aside, and now Cespedes, who homered to right center field last night, homering in his 3rd consecutive game. He's never had a 4-game home run streak. 15 home runs for the year now for Cespedes. And this one last night just got out.
Little cutter, belt high on the outside part of the plate, and the good thing about almost made a nice play made by Judge there, all 6'7" of him. That Cespedes is having a hard time on the outside corner, so it was good to see him use the opposite field.
Well, if you're ever going to do it,
yes,
why wouldn't you do it here?
I agree.
It was interesting when Cespedes got in the box, a little nod to Gray. I was thinking that's unusual. Of course, it wouldn't be. They were teammates with Oakland.
Cespedes gets tied up and he went around, and it's 0-2.
We saw a lot of aggressive pitching inside last night from the Yankees.
And the Mets and Montero too.
Yes. And Gray has that fastball that runs in on right-handers. Garrett's Ronnie, it's an effective pitch.
Gray had thrown 8 straight strikes before bouncing that slider. Michael Conforto DHing tonight, waiting on deck. Two out and nobody on. 1-2 to Cespedes, and he bounces another slider, and it's 2-2.
Well, these are the kind of things you have to look for when if you're able to get on base of Sonny Gray, is that he throws a lot of balls in the dirt. It's going to be incumbent on Gary Sanchez to do a lot of blocking of the baseball tonight.
In fact, over the last 4 years, no pitcher in baseball has more wild pitches than Sonny Gray. Consequence of all those pitches in the dirt. 2-2 coming, and it's bounced slowly on the right side. Torreyes moves over to get it, and that retires the side. Gray sets the Mets down 1-2-3. Jacob deGrom takes the mound when we come back. Yankees tonight. Brett Gardner will DH. Jacoby Ellsbury, who sat last night, will play center field. And Didi Gregorius playing shortstop after DHing last night for the Yankees, who were second in the American League in runs scored.
Land Rover numbers for deGrom, just all excellent. Those 179 strikeouts and 151 in the third innings pitched. Outstanding, almost 6 2/3 innings per start. That's outstanding in today's game.
Last start in Philadelphia was brilliant for 6 2/3, then got hit on the arm by a Nick Williams line drive, hit him in the triceps. He came out of the game, but he's had 2 bullpen sessions since, and it has not appeared to affect him at all. Dom Smith handles the Gardner ground ball. deGrom gets over to cover. 3-1 put out on Jake's first pitch.
Lexus Mets defense, Lagares in center field getting a lot of playing time. Also Curtis Granderson, for I think obvious reasons. Dominic Smith and Rosario are going to be in there every day. And the mix and match on the middle infielders just tonight, it is Cabrera and Flores. Darno behind the plate.
Cabrera for the same obvious reason as Granderson?
Well, I didn't want to prolong my defensive observations.
No, very concise. Here's Aaron Hicks, who hit the go-ahead home run of Alfonso Robles in the 8th inning last night. And Hicks takes up and in for ball 1.
Boy, he got a 2-0 count and a fastball count, and he was sitting on it, and Robles obliged right down the middle, and he had a rocket launcher.
It was his 12th home run of the year. And DeGrom paints with a fastball, and it's 1-1. And DeGrom gets ahead 1-2. Home plate umpire tonight is young Adam Hamari, Chad Whitson, the crew chief Bill Mueller, and Todd Tichenor rounding out the crew. Rained a little in New York today. It's cloudy at game time, but rain should be gone. Hicks drives one to center, chasing Lagares back, but he's there, and that's the second out. So 2 up and 2 set aside by DeGrom. Piece of cake. Yeah, we know. You know, you forget because he's been out for so long just how easy he makes it look out.
Well, when it went off the bat of Hicks, I was anticipating maybe that could be a double.
Yeah,
I forgot
I did
that Lagares is out there.
Ball kind of died too. I don't think it was hit as well as it sounded. Oh, there it is.
Judge's chambers are active.
In chamber.
Aaron Judge, 36th home run last night. That leads the American League, 2 better than Mike Moustakas of the Royals. 7 behind Giancarlo Stanton for the Major League lead, but that's a different story.
Not a bad pitch, a little too up, outer half of the plate, and the fact that that young man was going the other way. Oh, good slider there.
The other side of the ledger on Judge, he has had a strikeout in each of his last 31 games. If he strikes out tonight, he would tie a Major League record for position players in a single season, held by Adam Dunn. And he strikes out on 3 pitches. 32 straight games with a strikeout for Judge. 8-pitch inning for Jacob deGrom. So Gray and deGrom both off to a fast start. No score after 1. Sonny Douglas Gray, yes, that is his real name, set to face Michael Conforto to start the 2nd inning. Conforto DHing tonight, looking for his first ever hit in this ballpark. He's gone 0 for 11 at Yankee Stadium, the only ballpark he's played in where he's never had a hit. Michael's last 5 hits have all been home runs. 26 home runs for the year. And he takes one the other way, just off the glove of Gregorius and into left center field. Looked like Didi was going to catch that one, but it snuck out of his glove, and Conforto has his first Yankee Stadium hit.
Didi got caught kind of flat-footed. If he had just retreated a little bit.
He didn't get the glove up in time. Ball was hit hard, harder than he thought, off the tip. And that's good hitting by Conforto. Take that running fastball, sinking fastball the other way.
So the first base runner of the game for either side. And now Wilmer Flores playing third base again tonight. Wilmer went 0 for 3 last night. And the slider stopped by Sanchez, ball 1. Ray has yet to win as a Yankee, but the Yankees have not scored a run for him in his 2 starts. Both were on the road. Went 6 his last start against Toronto. And Wilmer with a good cut fouls it back 1-1. Ray missed some time earlier this year, right at the start of the season, with a lat strain. And as Ronnie mentioned, he had an injury-plagued season last year. He missed most of August and September with a forearm injury. Did not have a good year in 2016, but had bounced back and pitched very well this year, particularly lately. His last 8 starts, he has a 1.75 ERA, best he's pitched in a couple of years. And he ties up Wilmer, but it missed 2-1. 2 years ago, he finished 3rd in the Cy Young balloting, 14-7, 2.73 in 31 starts for the A's. But he really burst on the scene quickly. 2013 called him up, made a dozen starts, and then got game 1 and game 5 of their division series against the Tigers. He made that quick an impression. At least foul, and it's 2-2.
Well, I wrote down, Gary, when he first came to the major leagues, he was called up as a reliever. He relieved Jerry Blevins. The next time he was brought up from AAA Sacramento, he took the spot of Tommy Malone. And game 5, he took the place of a lot of people in Oakland thought Bartolo Colon, who had an excellent year that year, should have gotten game 5. Sonny got it and lost to Verlander.
Well, the first game he pitched in that series, he threw 8 scoreless innings, so certainly it seemed like the right call. 2-2 coming, and it's grounded down to third. Might be 2. Frazier to second, and Torreyes on to first. High throw, but handled by Headley, and they turn the 5-4-3 double play. So 2 out and nobody on.
Well, tailor-made right here. Nice easy hop for Frazier. Torreyes threw a little lollipop over there, but got the job done. Wasn't rushed.
A little loose, though.
Yep. Can't get used to these high numbers on the Yankees.
Well, especially Torreyes. He's 150 pounds. He needs a smaller number, if not a lower number.
What low number?
Well,
like, what is he?
Something a little thinner.
Is he a non-roster player?
Well, last night, Luis Sessa, the starting pitcher, was wearing 85. Speaking of pitchers with high numbers, the Mets have scratched Seth Lugo from his start tomorrow night and placed him on the disabled list with an impingement in his shoulder. And Robert Gsellman is going to take his spot. Here's Gsellman, who's made 4 rehab starts coming back from a hamstring injury. I don't think they quite figured he was ready to go, but he's back in the rotation. 1-2 to Smith, so it's Gsellman who goes tomorrow against Jaime Garcia, and then Steven Matz Thursday against Luis Severino. Both those games at Citi Field, the City Probables.
Severino has really been their ace this year for the Yankees, although coming off a tough start in his last one.
Yeah, the Red Sox really hammered him, especially Andrew Benintendi. A couple of 3-run homers against him. 0-2 to Dominic Smith with 2 out and nobody on, and Smith shoots one foul down the left side. Dom was 1 for 4 last night, 3 for 14 through his first 4 big league games. He had an infield hit in the 9th inning last night against Ellen Betances. reaches for that fastball and fouls it off.
Keeping the ball away from Dominic and keeping it down and away. Got a pitch to waste here, 0-2.
We saw him in spring training drive some balls to left field. We haven't seen that yet from Dominic.
Mostly has used the middle of the field through his first 4 games.
Coming in.
Yanks that one foul. That one cleared some bodies in the Yankee dugout.
That was Severino I was just talking about. He didn't move till a little late.
It didn't hit him. I think it hit the fence right in front of him and scared him.
But he didn't move till too late.
Sometimes there's no place to hide. And Dom tries to hold up, and he did on the breaking ball in the dirt. 1-2.
Again, nice block by Sanchez. Did he go around, Keith?
No, he did not. Good check right there. Good eye.
Sonny Gray, part of the Vanderbilt pipeline that sent so many good pitchers to the big leagues. David Price, Mike Minor.
They put themselves with all the other great schools, baseball schools now.
And he strikes out Smith with the slider. Second strikeout for Sonny Gray. Gives up a hit, gets a double play. And we go to the bottom of the second in the Bronx with no score. Device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live, plus get a free subscription to At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Didi Gregorius 0 for 3 last night. Still 8th in the American League with a .306 batting average. And the curveball from DeGrom misses.
DeGrom looks back at the mound, kind of missed his mark there and kind of slipped a little.
We've seen both Gray and DeGrom look down at the mound. We did have some rain here today. I don't know whether that's had an impact on the consistency of the mound. That's looped over short. Rosario back, can't quite make the play, and Gregorius is aboard. Rosario looked like he had just about timed that well, but couldn't make the connection.
A similar play, but this was a looper that Gregorius had earlier. He didn't get his glove up in time, but he did, just out of his reach.
So Gregorius gets a leadoff hit. First base runner for the Yankees. And now Gary Sanchez. So it was a bit of an oddity last night that the home runs that Judge and Sanchez hit, for each one was the 40th of their career. Sanchez, remember, had that tremendous stretch as a rookie last year where he had 20 home runs in a 43-game span, and now he has 20 more this year.
They were trying to go up and in, and the ball was up and away.
So Sanchez's 40th career home run came in his 139th game. Judge's in his 140th game. There have been only 2 players to get to 40 home runs faster. Mark McGwire took him 110 games, and Rudy York with the Tigers back in the 30s, 129 games. There could be another guy on that list shortly who surpasses everybody, and that's Cody Bellinger. Bellinger has 34 home runs in his first 97 games. So you could have 3 of the top 5 on that list before long, all players to reach that plateau this year, which is not surprising considering this might be the most prolific home run year in baseball history. Broken back grounder, but it finds the hole. A base hit for Sanchez. Gregorius falls down coming around second, but he gets back safely. A shattered bat, but with the Mets shading the infield to pull, Sanchez found the hole on the right side.
I don't see how in the heck De Gregorius does. Well, De Gregorius does not get into get to second base.
I thought he missed second base, Keith. First, it's supposed to be a slider away. It jams him. Backup slider in.
We'll take a look here. Well, we're playing away up the middle at second base. It didn't break his stride, but he does slip here.
Yeah, I thought he missed the bag. That's why he went back.
Okay.
Let's see if he gets the bag here.
Now he got it. Looks like it. Looks like he just changed his mind to go into third. Boy, ball hit that slow.
So 2 soft hits against DeGrom. First and second, nobody out. And here's Chase Headley. During this hot streak for DeGrom, and it's gone for 11 starts now. He's 9-2, 1.82 over this stretch. Look at that bat come apart. DeGrom has been extraordinary at keeping runners from scoring when they reach scoring position. The opposition is 5 for their last 47 against him with runners in scoring position. That's a 106 average.
That's how you get on these rolls, because I talk about it all the time. Almost every pitcher is going to have people on base. It's how you pitch when they're in scoring position, is whether you can get on a roll, and that's how DeGrom has got on his.
Rosario right behind Gregorius as he takes his lead at second. And Headley takes the changeup off the plate, and it's 2-1. Headley 0 for 4 last night, hitting .270 for the year.
DeGrom, ever since he fiddled with the mound, he is flying open a little bit. We talked about that earlier in the year when he went through that little trouble period, 2 starts, flying open with that shoulder. So he'll probably make that adjustment. We've seen him do it before.
Headley hits one slowly down to Smith. Gets the out at second. Returned by Rosario, just a little bit late. So they get the 3-6 force on Sanchez for the first out.
Terry's signaling to the umpire to hold here. This is what you're saying, Gary. Your gripe is that it's an automatic to go look, so it's automatic for anything close for the manager to signal to the umpire. And he did clearly beat it.
Not even really close.
Yeah. I like the way Dominic Smith threw that ball to second base. Not hit hard, threw it on the run. Didn't set himself to throw. Well done.
So now runners at the corners with 1 out, and here's Jacoby Ellsbury, who has seen his playing time diminish as his production continues to plummet.
Can never stay on the field.
Gregorius at third, Headley at first, and a breaking ball in the dirt to Ellsbury. Well, Ellsbury signed that 7-year, $153 million contract with the Yankees. This is only the 4th year of that deal. And he's already seen his production plummet to a point where he's an extra outfielder.
A very expensive one.
Which puts the Yankees in a really difficult position for the next few years, having to carry that contract. There's a call strike. I mean, basically, we talked about Headley last night living off 1 year.
Yeah.
It's basically what Ellsbury did. He had that one great year with the Red Sox where he had 32 home runs, drove in 105 runs, stole 39 bases.
Kind of transformed himself as a player with the Red Sox. He was more of a speed player early in his career, and then he had that big home run year.
And he's never had another one even close to it. That fastball just off the plate, and it's 2-1.
So on the urgings of coaching staff to get him to hit more home runs, and he's not the prolific player that he was when he came up.
He's 33 years old now.
I mean, 31, Gary, you're in your prime.
Driven to left field, coming in Cespedes, picks it off, and Gregorius will hold at third. And Cespedes fires to the plate. Gregorius took a couple of steps off the bag, but he had no intention of going anywhere, and that's the second out.
Well, Cespedes likes to play a shallow left field and takes away a base hit from Ellsbury.
Remember the one of the big small plays of last night with Aaron Hicks tagging up and forcing Cespedes to make a good throw, although that wasn't even close to where that ball was last night.
Well, those are the full season numbers for DeGrom with runners in scoring position. Just outstanding. One of the reasons he's 8th in the National League in ERA. So now Todd Frazier bats with 1st and 3rd and 2 out. Frazier 1 for 3 last night, batting 8th in the order, and he takes outside for ball 1. Frazier, the only Yankee in the lineup with a home run in his career against DeGrom. He's 1 for 5 against Jake. And the fastball on the corner, 1-1. This is DeGrom's 4th career start against the Yankees. He made his major league debut against the Yankees May of 2014, the day after Rafael Montero made his debut. The guy he faced that night, Chase Whitley, was also making his major league debut. He just got back to the big leagues, called up by Tampa Bay. And Frazier pops one up into center field, and Lagares waits for it. That retires the side. DeGrom gives up back-to-back hits to start the inning, finds his way through it. No score after 2. Rosario will lead off against Sonny Gray in the top of the third. Rosario 1 for 4 last night, 6 for 12 in his last 4 games. And Gray gets one at the top of the strike zone, 0-1. Rosario, d'Arnaud, and Lagares 7, 8, and 9 in the Mets batting order. Ahmed Rosario, his second game in this Subway Series, and just his 14th big league start. A few Mets players were treated to a ride to Yankee Stadium courtesy of your local Ford dealer. Stay tuned for the 5th inning of tonight's game as Steve Gelbs catches up with Jacob deGrom and Steven Matz.
Wonderful. Todd Frazier was playing where he's playing right now at third base. The first 2 strikes on Rosario. Maybe we'll get another look here.
He goes down swinging on the slider for the first out.
But Rosario, who can run, it would behoove him to learn how to bunt. I mean, Frazier was playing well back on the dirt at third base.
Don't think we've seen him attempt a bunt yet since he's been here.
So it's basically was playing it's a leading off an inning. You've got 2 aces on the hill. You know, you figure it's going to be a pitcher's duel. Yeah. You try to scratch away on base.
There's Travis d'Arnaud, just 1 for his last 17.
So it's interesting when you watch d'Arnaud up at the plate, who's the catcher. Watch the glove of Sanchez. See how he kind of fades it, drops it, it drifts on him. So that target that the pitcher's looking at is not the target that he'll finally pick up at the end. Sonny Gray, though, does something that most pitchers don't do, and that he looks at the target the entire time. I was taught, you pick up the target, you look away, you pick up the target again, because it's hard to concentrate for that long of a period of time on one spot.
Like staring at the sun.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that.
That's right. We got the eclipse coming.
Right. Public service. Off the foot of d'Arnaud, and he goes down in a heap.
But why I wouldn't like Sanchez in that glove drifting is that when I looked away and came back, I expected that glove to be in the same spot. If he's drifting with it, I'm going to pick it up in a different spot, which is going to change where I'm going to throw it. Watch Sonny Gray now. He does not take his eye off the spot. That's very hard to do. So watch the glove just kind of drop. It's a little bit of a lazy thing for Gary. At some point, you know, you want to hold that glove out stiff where you want the ball to be.
Do you think it's distracting for Gray, since he is staring in that whole time, to see that glove moving as he's delivering the ball?
I don't know that, but I know it would be distracting to me. Absolutely. And you see it at that time, he did it less than he does on other times. So, you know, he's still learning how to catch at this level.
Gary Carter left a target right there for you, right?
He just dropped it right there. Never moved.
Well, when Girardi issued his public criticism of Sanchez a couple of weeks ago, as d'Arnaud drives one out to center field, chases back Ellsbury in front of the warning track. He gets there, 2 out. It was mostly about his actual catching of the ball.
Yeah.
It wasn't about his throwing. It wasn't necessarily about his blocking. It was about catching the ball.
But think about it this way. If you're asking for the ball to be on the outside corner and your glove drifts down and into the inside, to you to get to that ball when it's at 95 plus is going to make you miss some of those pitches that you should not miss. It's just fundies. Just fundies.
You like fundies?
I do like fundies.
Fundies in a mask. Here's Juan Lagares, 1 for 3 last night, and he takes one the other way, just past the glove of Headley. Another broken bat hit. The Mets' second hit of the night. So Lagares getting back-to-back starts after not starting for a couple of months with a broken thumb, and he's got a hit to start this game.
A little slow reaction from Headley, who's really not a first baseman, a third baseman by trade.
So the Mets have a 2-out base runner, and now Granderson. Lagares tried to steal a base last night and was thrown out by Sanchez. Gray sometimes has difficulty holding runners. He's given up 10 steals this year. Gets the curveball in for a strike to Granderson.
Granderson is such a quirky hitter that I don't know. And I know there's a way to attack him, but he can look as bad can be, and then take you deep.
And Gray with a little problem getting the ball to first base. Does he have the thing?
I don't know. Then we're going to have to watch and check. But that was a one hopper over to first base. Don't want to have the thing.
What is the thing?
Folks at home, the thing is when you can't throw the bases. That's what the thing is.
Just wanted to clarify it. I mean, this is a professional broadcast.
Well, it depends on the context, you know.
I knew what you meant. I'm concerned about our audience.
Not always sure it's professional.
One and one to Granderson. And Curtis takes a pitch just out of the strike zone. 2-1. Remember when there were no short right-handers in the game?
Yeah, I mean, that's what scouts are looking for. They're looking for the 6'4", 6'5" guy.
It used to be if you were lefty, you could be little.
That's right.
But you couldn't be righty and little. Well, Granderson drives one to right, and Judge is right there to grab it. Side retire. Gray is disproving the theory that little right-handers can succeed. He is. We go to the bottom of the third. No score.
Huge games. I don't care if they are played by a team that's in first place and a team that's in fourth place. You know, the fan bases create rivalries, and there are two tremendous fan bases here. There are Mets fans who love the Mets and hate the Yankees and vice versa in this town. So these games are big because of the energy that's created in the stadium. And I think if you're a young player and you've never experienced this kind of energy, you know, this isn't college baseball where it's, you know, Arizona versus Arizona State. This is on a different stage and a different approach. So I think it's as you develop as a player to be a good major league player, you've got to be subjected to this kind of an atmosphere in order for you to be able to say, hey, look, when it comes playoff time, I'm gonna be ready. I thought what Sandy did by bringing those guys up this month and letting them play here, I think is a tremendous idea because they're going to get better because of it.
Quarter of the game presented by Investors Bank, banking in your best interest. While Terry was talking about the rivalry, Ronald Torreyes had a station-to-station double.
Well, Flores certainly playing in thinking he might bunt, and that cost a double down the line. Torreyes, I don't know if he fell down at first base. Oh, he sure did. Wet field.
Oh, he never touched first.
He touched first.
Never touched first.
That's a good question. Mets are not running an appeal play, so they must not. They must either think he did touch first or have not realized it. Let's look again.
Okay, there's the tumble.
Did he get with his hand? Yeah, he got it with his hand.
Good recovery.
Cespedes came in and fired a strike to second, but a shade too late. So Torreyes has a double. Strange one at that. Brett Gardner grounded out his first time up. And he pushes a nice bunt. Flores with the bare hand play gets the out.
Wilmer.
Sacrifice for Gardner. Moves Torreyes to third.
Wilmer, nice play with the bare hand, and he had to be a bare hand with the fleet-footed Gardner. Nice play.
Well, you've got two star pitchers on the mound. Not likely to give up a whole lot of runs. I would think you'd have to play your infield in here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I like that call.
They're in, no question. Particularly after looking at that Yankee bullpen, they got some firepower behind their starters.
Certainly did last night. How impressive was Chad Green?
Oh, I loved him.
There's Aaron Hicks with a runner at third and one out. And he takes a slider for a strike. Hicks flied to center his first time up. Torreyes at third and one out. And Hicks takes low, 1-1. Aaron Judge waiting on deck.
See how different DeGrom pitches Hicks. Remember Montero last night tried to crowd him inside. Got him a broken bat single and a broken bat out.
Garneau stays away. And changeup misses 2-1.
Changeup is eluding DeGrom right now early. He's missed twice against left-handers. Getting it up in the strike zone and missing outside.
Tried it against Headley in the second inning. On 2-1, Hicks takes it, and he held the swing on the slider, and it's 3-1. First time DeGrom's gone to a 3-ball count tonight. (3-1) coming, and he gets the breaking ball over. 3-2.
That's been his best pitch so far. It's almost like he can dial it up anytime he wants to the lefty, just on that outside corner.
Jake's been averaging 10.5 strikeouts per 9. He needs a strikeout here. 3-2. And Hicks just got a piece of that.
There was a good change right there. Good little sinking change. Got it in for a strike. Good as a swing right there. I mean, just to stay in the at bat for Hicks. This is a pretty good pitch. Just had him way out in front, not cued it.
I would opt for the fastball up and in here for the strikeout.
There might be coming.
Breaking ball hit to right center, falling fast, base hit. That'll bring in the first run of the game. Torreyes trots in to score. Aaron Hicks with an RBI single, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
Well, there's a case right there with the right intention. It's a great at bat by Hicks. Wanted to come up and in, Ronnie, and just didn't get it in enough. And you saw where the contact was off the label of the bat. If he gets it 3 more inches inside for that inside up and in, it shatters the bat.
So a double sacrifice and a base hit by Hicks produced a run, and now Aaron Judge, who struck out on 3 pitches his first time up. 32nd straight game with a strikeout, which ties Adam Dunn's single season major league record for a non-pitcher. Grounded to short, should be two. Rosario to Cabrera and on to first for the 6-4-3 double play. That ends the inning. But the Yankees plate the game's first run. Aaron Hicks an RBI single. 1-0 Yankees after 3. Four train pulling up next to Yankee Stadium. You can take the D too.
Yes, you can.
I prefer the 4.
Well, it depends where you're coming from, Keith.
Lou Gehrig.
As Dribble Cabrera shoots one foul as we start the 4th inning. Cabrera struck out his first time up. So tell me if you've heard the story before, but Giancarlo Stanton just hit a home run off Madison Bumgarner, 432 feet. Just missed the home run sculpture. 44 home runs. He's homered in 6 straight games. 23 in his last 35 games. I mean, he is finally doing what everybody thought he was going to be able to do all the time because he's staying on the field.
That's right. It's going to be interesting to watch him in these last month and a half.
Well, what's interesting right now is at the same time that he is hitting a monstrous number of home runs in a short period of time, speculation is already beginning about whether with the new ownership they'll trade him after this season.
Really?
Well, you know, he's got what?
Yeah.
How many years left on his deal? He's got the opt-out somewhere along the way.
That's right.
What, he signed 13 years, $325 million.
Ridiculous. But
he's earning it right now.
Get me to the church on sign with an ink pen to sign that thing.
That's pulled into the shift. Torreyes handles the one hopper, throws out Cabrera one away. Well, let's take a look at the up-to-date Porsche home run leaderboard. The major league home run leaders. Stanton, wow, increasing his margin. Last night he broke the Marlins single season home run records. Looks like he has more home run records on his radar.
Yeah, Moustakas in his free agent year. Did you hear what Stanton said after the game last night when asked about the number he was looking at maybe at the end of the year? He said, I don't want to look at any numbers. Just want to continue to hit well. But to me, 62 is the number. I thought that was interesting.
Well, especially in light of who was his hitting coach last year.
That's what I mean.
Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds.
I mean, none of us was there.
Yeah.
But you heard that Bonds was not particularly well received as a hitting coach there. But it's interesting to hear Stanton put it in those terms.
I did. As soon as I heard it, I was just, it was very interesting, because he's a very smart guy, knows exactly what he's saying, and to say 62, I think, was a shot across the bow.
Meanwhile, Cespedes fouling that last ball off his leg and drawing some attention from Ray Ramirez. Terry Collins is coming out as well to see if Cespedes is okay.
Oh, we got him on top of the toe.
The back foot, whereas there is no protection. I've never seen a guy wear a shin guard on his back foot. Yeah, he's okay. The particulars on Stanton's contract: he's got 11 years left.
Only 11?
He can opt out after 2020, so after 3 more seasons. So, if you say you're a team that was thinking about picking him up, do you think of him as an 11-year investment or as a 3-year investment? Because that would affect how you consider whether you want to take on that much salary.
What's amazing is that if he hits home runs at this rate, he will opt out because he'll get a bigger contract, bigger than the 300 whatever it is.
Oh boy, that would set the bar, wouldn't it?
Well, when's Bryce Harper's free agency?
That's right. He wants 400.
And he's having that kind of year. At least he was till he got hurt. Golf foul. By the way, it's a shame that Harper got hurt right when he did, because you know who the Nationals are playing right now? The Angels. Oh. And he'd love to have Harper and Trout on the same
Absolutely.
field.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But the good news is it does appear Harper will be back before the end of the year, and presumably for the postseason. 1-2 to Cespedes, and he takes the sinker low and in. 2-2. Cespedes grounded out his first time up against Sonny Gray, who's given up 2 singles and has himself a 1-0 lead now after the Aaron Hicks RBI single in the bottom of the 3rd.
That was his first run he's gotten.
That's right.
That's a Yankee pitcher.
Got shut out his last start. They only scored after he was out of the game in his first start. High speed pitch brought to you by Spectrum. DeGrom has topped the ledger there. Three-2 coming to Cespedes, and he yanks one foul.
Gray is really a pitching Cespedes by the book. Hard in and soft away. Don't see a lot of pitchers who are brave enough to pitch Cespedes in, but that's where you should pitch him.
Cespedes with a home run in each of his last 3 games. The last 4-game streak by a Met was Curtis Granderson last year. And it's grounded toward the hole. Gregorius with a nice pickup. The long throw not in time. Cespedes smelling ahead went full speed. And the Mets have their 3rd hit of the night.
Well, he can run when he wants to, and he's flying down that baseline.
That's the thing. When you see him in top gear, it's an amazing thing. I mean, he was flying.
I think he surprised Gregorius, because Gregorius, when he made that throw, he thought he was going to make that play. Wasn't even close.
So the Mets have a 1-out base runner. Conforto singled off the glove of Gregorius, his first time up. And Gray keeps it away from him. Ball 1. Now you've got that left side of the infield completely open, and then you have Gray pitching him away like that.
It's called a little respect for that short porch down that right field line. Now, Conforto took him over the shortstop's head in the left center field gap yesterday. Today, first at bat.
Curveball misses. 2-0.
You're right, though, Gary. It's almost like you're trying to trust that the batter is going to try to pull the baseball because of the short porch. So pitching away will get him to roll it over.
These are the two guys in the Met lineup that if you're pitching against Ronnie, you're the ones that you don't want to have hurt you.
That's right.
You're the ones you have to pitch respectfully.
But if you've got a guy like Conforto who has such natural opposite field power, and you know, you see guys come in here all the time and try and yank home runs because of the dimensions, but he's at his best, he's not that guy. So do you fear him trying to pull too much in this ballpark?
That's interesting. He just got his first hit, like you said, in his last at bat, 1 for 12. So it would be lesser hitters than Conforto have come in here and just stare at that wall.
Gray behind him, 3-0, and he walked him, and the Mets have 2 men on. First walk given up by Gray. Let's look at tonight's Verizon trivia question. Which pitcher has the most career wins in postseason history?
Well,
it's obviously somebody recent.
Yes.
Because of all the layers of postseason.
Well, I'm thinking about a lefty that pitched here.
Yep. Well, that righty on TV did pretty well too.
He did. He was my other choice.
So the Mets have a runner in scoring position for the first time tonight. Cespedes at second, Conforto at first. Wilmer Flores the batter. He grounded into a double play his first time up. Gray looking for another one of those. And Wilmer goes after a first pitch fastball, 0-1.
Wilmer loses that top hand a lot. On his swing. I've seen it so many times. I don't understand it.
Do you think it's on a particular location of pitch?
Gary, I hasn't done it in a while, but he's done it a bushelful this year.
Sanchez knocks that down. 1-1.
Change up.
Just flipped that glove over in time.
Just in time.
He almost went at it with the spatula. Torres trying to keep Cespedes close at second, opening up a bit more of that hole on the right side. And Wilmer trying to go that way, but he fouls it off. 1-2. Yeah, you're talking about hitters trying to hit the ball to the short porch in right field. We're looking at numbers on the Yankees today. The Yankees have their right-hand hitters have 20 opposite field home runs in this ballpark.
I believe it.
So just in their home games, that's 56 home games, they have 20 opposite field home runs from their right-hand batter. That's a skill. Derek Jeter was great at it,
right.
flipping that ball over the fence and right.
Yes, he was.
Again, Wilmer trying to go the other way, and he fouls it off. Well, this is the second best home run hitting park in baseball this year.
Of course, Cincinnati.
Mets will be in Cincinnati in a couple of weeks. Chance to take aim there.
They will.
Third on that list is Camden Yards. Those are the only 3 that have averaged 3 or more home runs per game. There were 5 hit here last night, and there were only 6 runs scored in the game. One-two coming. And slider off the plate, 2-2. In fact, the Mets recently have been incredibly reliant on the home run to score. Last 10 games, the Mets have scored 36 runs. 30 of the 36 have come via the home run.
There's Exhibit A, Your Honor.
It's the highest percentage of runs scored via homers for the Mets in any 10-game span in the team's history. Even last year when they were so reliant on the home run. And Wilmer fights that one off. And in the last 47 seasons, no team has had a 10-game stretch where they've scored a higher percentage of their runs with home runs. The Twins in 2013 had a similar stretch. So you go back to 1970. No teams had a higher percentage. This would be content with a little single here to score a run without a home run. But, you know, flipping one over that right field fence for 3 would be okay, too.
There you go.
Wilmer's looked like he's been trying to go that way. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming from Gray. And Wilmer yanks that one foul. And he continues. Dominic Smith on deck.
Gray's interesting. He is thrown in a lot on the right-handed hitters, and he throws in for strikes. You don't see that often. Almost like he throws a two-seamer, or he tries to run it in on the right-handed batters.
He's already thrown 22 pitches in this inning. Cespedes an infield hit, Conforto a walk. This is the 8th pitch of the at-bat to Flores coming up. And he pops it up. Into shallow right. Torreyes calling. Infield fly rule called at the very last moment.
Wow.
And Torreyes barely caught it.
I'm not so sure about that call.
First base umpire Chad Whitson put his arm up at the very last moment, and Torreyes had trouble catching.
Well, you see the sequence, little slider, change up in the dirt, and then he started to pour in some fastballs. Boy, Wilmer took a nice at bat, fouled off some tough pitches, laid off some tough pitches. Was very quick inside and finally got a pitch really to hit, and he kind of was a little late on that slider.
You see how late Whitson put his arm up?
I don't. Was he under this to really? Was this an automatic catch to call infield fly?
I think that was a mistake on the umpire's part.
I think Torreyes lost it in the lights, or lost it in the darkness.
Well, no harm done. Had it fallen, it certainly would have been a controversial call. 2 out and 2 on. Here's Smith. And Dom pulls one right at Torreyes, playing on the outfield grass. And that retires the side. So Gray gets out of his first jam. And the Mets strand 2 in the top of the 4th. Still 1-0 Yankees. On the Marlins at 7:10, the first 15,000 fans in attendance will receive a Yoenis Cespedes bobblehead courtesy of Delta Airlines. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. D.G. Gregorius leads off in the home 4th. Orioles hit a soft single into left field his first time up. One of 4 hits against DeGrom, and none has been hit particularly hard. Gregorius, then Gary Sanchez and Chase Headley for the Yankees in the 4th. Shallow center, Lagares coming on, and he's got it 1 away. Here's Sanchez, who shattered his bat, got a single through the right side of the infield. I know I probably say this far too often when he's here and healthy and available. But you know what a joy it is to watch Juan Lagares just make routine plays in center field.
That's right. There's a real athleticism to Juan that you love to watch on a day-to-day basis, or I do. I know you guys do too.
It's just such a different look from what everybody else does. Kind of like, you know, watching the Mets infield all year and then seeing Rosario play and just seeing the difference in athleticism. Right. It just takes the entire team up a notch in terms of their ability to prevent hits. Sanchez takes a curveball for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Pretty good production there for your first 139 games.
Well, with Sanchez and Judge and what they hope will be the imminent return of Greg Bird to play first base, the Yankees have some incredible position player talent. Very youthful and extremely impressive. Bird's been out a long time with an ankle injury, but he's supposed to start a rehab assignment this week. 1-2 coming. Just off the plate, 2-2. Yankees gained a game on the Red Sox last night. Red Sox are up 1-0 on the Cardinals tonight. Yankees with the first wild card spot. The Angels are 2 games behind them. And then the rest of the world is right behind the Angels.
2013 World Series participants back at it. Red Sox and the Cardinals.
Two and two to Sanchez with Chase Headley on deck. Well, you have to say DeGrom has shown no ill effects from taking that liner off his arm in that last start. Said it hurt in the moment. He had a little knot on his triceps coming out of the game, but he's looked like his normal self tonight. And he gets Sanchez upstairs. Just the second strikeout of the night for Jake. 2 down.
Well, he got Judge upstairs up the ladder, and we'll do the pitch sequence here. Leads him off with 2 sliders. Good ball 1 right there. Good strike right there. Down and away. That looked like a changeup or a fastball up and away. Another fastball down and away. Just missed. Fast changeup. I thought it was a hanging slider. And then he went upstairs with the fastball. Got him to chase. So interesting how he switched gears, leading him off with 2 sliders and basically came right after him.
Headley hit a ground ball to first his first time up. And he takes a changeup for a strike.
So side view on the strikeout pitch. A lot of times you realize as a hitter, oh, I didn't want to swing at that one. But home plate umpire Adam Hamari had called a high strike earlier in the at bat, and that probably got him to chase. We're seeing a little more of the high strike being called now of late.
Got to. You got to.
I agree.
It's the only thing that's going to cut down on this relentless home run barrage.
used to always have a theory. Adam Pomari is a tall umpire. Tall umpires seem to call the higher pitch better. It's harder for them to get all the way down.
Tim McClellan.
There you go.
3-1 to Headley.
Ron, you think that DeGrom a couple times has kind of stepped off the rubber, taken a little. Darno, he's not in sync with Darno. Oh, good pitch right there. I threw it right by Chase Headley.
I think you're right, Keith, that he doesn't feel in sync, but also I think he thinks his mechanics are a little off. He's fighting himself a little bit.
3-2, and Chase would not chase. Ball 4. First walk given up by DeGrom. By the way, speaking of umpires, did you see Ian Kinsler's comments tonight about Angel Hernandez?
I did.
Angel ran Kinsler out of a game last night, and Kinsler had some very, very harsh words for Angel and his work.
Well, some pointed words. I think one of the comments was maybe Angel should get a new job. I mean, things that are going to be finable or suspendable.
They said he's been ruining games for a long time.
Yes, it's pretty severe criticism, and I don't feel that's a suspension worthy, Gary. I'm sorry.
Well, considering that Joe West got suspended, that's driven to right by Ellsbury. Granderson looks up, and it's out of here. Jacoby Ellsbury with a line drive 2-run homer, and the Yankees have a 3-0 lead. 6th of the year for Ellsbury.
Fastball meant to be away, and it was inner half and down.
It's a double in every other ballpark of the land, but it's a home run here, and it's 3-0 Yankees.
Oh, he's hot.
He's hot about the home run. He's also hot about the walk to Chase Headley.
Yes.
Going to say before Ellsbury struck that blow, considering that Joe West was suspended for 3 games for some rather mild comments about Adrian Beltre. That's lined to short. Nice pickup by Rosario, and he makes the long throw on target to get Frazier's side retired. I would have to think that Kinsler is going to be suspended for at least that long.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that Joe West got reprimanded, got any kind of suspension for what he said.
Terrific play by Rosario on the backhand. 3-0 Yankees after 4. Well, kids, that was baseball in the Jazz age.
Very nice.
Ahmed Rosario flails on a curveball from Sonny Gray as we start the 5th inning.
You look like Scott Joplin next to me there
There's
for a
some
while.
good bebop going on. Rosario struck out his first time up. Gray now working with a 3-0 lead after the home run by Ellsbury. And Rosario goes after another breaking ball, and it's 0-2. Well, certainly chasing has been part of the scouting report on Rosario since we first started hearing about him in the minor leagues. And it's something that he's going to have to work on at the big league level.
Well, he's got an upgrade here for a pitcher he's facing.
And he goes after 3 pitches out of the strike zone and strikes out in short order. 1 out. 4th strikeout for Gray. So Rosario threw his first 45 at bats, no walks, 16 strikeouts. In your experience, guys, when you have a player who comes to the major leagues and doesn't have great strike zone discipline, is that something that improves over time?
Yes.
He gets more comfortable.
It should, and those that it doesn't improve on will find themselves out of the major leagues in a heartbeat. You should be a natural progression as you get more experienced. Remember, you're coming from AAA. You're facing a much better quality of pitching in the major league level. A big difference, and you should make the adjustment. If you don't, then guess what? You're a 210 hitter.
I mean, we've certainly seen players come up who swing at everything, quote unquote, who've had very successful careers. Thinking of an Alfonso Soriano, going back further, a Manny Sanguina.
Yes.
I mean, players who.
Vladimir Guerrero.
That's a perfect example. Laborious handles d'Arnaud's ground ball, and there are 2 out. But I guess in order to be that kind of guy, you have to be able to go out of the strike zone and produce, right?
Yes. I mean, Yogi Berra, throw him in that class. He's a notorious bad ball hitter. So I think that these hitters that are the free swingers, you can't rein, you try to rein them in, but you can't take away that free spirit. You've got to let them go, and in the hopes that they will learn and recognize. And what do they do when it's the clutch time? Because, you know, a lot of guys like Manny Sanguina, it was a free swinger. When it was late in the game, late and close, pitcher thinks he can get ahead with a bad pitch, all of a sudden they're 2-0. You know, they dialed it down.
Lagares singled to right his first time up. Takes a slider off the plate, 1-1. I mean, as a pitcher, Ronnie, I would think there's a way to exploit a guy who's a free swinger, right?
Yeah, there is, but there's some guys that just have a knack and a talent for it. I think the guy that I faced that was the biggest free swinger, and he could hit a ball off his toes or he could hit it over his head, was Jose Cruz for the Houston Astros. Yeah. And you could try to exploit by throwing a ball that was off the plate. Ozzie Guillen was like that, the shortstop for the Chicago White Sox. You could try to exploit it, but every once in a while they'd surprise you. And with Jose Cruz, he'd take you deep sometimes on a ball that would be head high.
I mean, we played with one Mookie. Mookie could pick it 1 inch off the ground when he was red hot.
Right. And Lagares strikes out to end the inning. So Sonny Gray gets the bottom of the order. 1, 2, 3. He's got 5 strikeouts through 5. Steve Gelb's had a chance to join the Mets on their drive over to Yankee Stadium. Let's take a look. Presented by your local Ford dealers. Torreyes swinging at the first pitch in the bottom of the 5th. Bloops one just beyond the reach of Rosario in shallow left, and it falls for a hit.
Slider, and not a very good one, up and flat, but away enough off the end of the bat of Torreyes. And you saw it. You noticed the frustration on DeGrom's face when after he threw that pitch.
So Torreyes is 2 for 2. He snuck a double over the third base bag just beyond Flores' reach and scored the first run of the game, and now a bloop hit just beyond the glove of Rosario. There's Gardner, who sacrificed his last time up.
Flores on the grass at third.
And DeGrom runs the fastball in for ball 1. Torreyes has 2 stolen bases this year. He's filling in for Starlin Castro, who the Yankees hope to have back in another 10 days to 2 weeks. Just as the Mets have had a lot of depletion in their rotation, the Yankees, if you think about what they're capable of putting on the field if they're fully healthy, you know, if they get Holiday back to DH, if they get Castro back to play second base, if they get Bird back to play first, it could be a real offensive juggernaut. It's poked foul by Gardner.
Well, we showed some numbers last night about how good they were and how they've struggled of late. They struggled of late because Castro's not been in the lineup. Holiday has not been in the lineup.
And Judge has struggled so much in the second half. Two and one to Gardner. There goes Torreyes, a hit and run play, and Gardner fouls it off. Well, there you see what they did early in the season when they were just such an enormous surprise. Nobody expected this Yankee team to be this potent, but they have certainly come back to earth a little bit offensively over the last couple of months. And if the season were to end today, the Yankees would host the wild card game. 2-2 to Gardner with Hicks on deck. And he struck him out with a slider. Good pitch by DeGrom for his 3rd strikeout of the night.
Very nasty pitch here, RJ.
Well, this is the one he wanted to throw to Hicks, the one that was down and in. Although Darno's glove was for a backdoor slider, this one ended up down and in.
So 1 out and 1 on. Now Hicks, who drove in the first run of the game with a base hit in the 3rd. Flies one out to left. Cespedes easing back. 2 out. Now Aaron Judge has been up twice, struck out, and grounded into a double play.
First at bat, fastball right down the middle. Good slider down and away. Upstairs fastball out of the strike zone. Quick work. 3rd inning. Just let him off with a fastball away and got him to roll it over. It's a good swing by Judge, but it was a ball he probably should have drove into the opposite gap.
Bats here with 2 out and a runner at first. Misses well outside for ball 1.
See, those are the pitches when I talk about DeGrom, because we've seen him 100 times now, is when he misses that far away. It's when I feel like he's just out of sorts with his mechanics. They're just not right tonight.
Exactly 100 times, as a matter of fact. His 100th career start tonight.
It's also 2 outs, nobody on base, one runner on base, and you got a very dangerous Judge, and he's hung a slider to get that leadoff Torreyes on base. He doesn't want to hang a slider to this guy, so therefore he's overthrowing it, Ron.
Yeah, trying to be too fine.
This is the one guy that can hurt you with big time right now with one swing.
Stays with the slider and falls behind 3-0.
I'd give this big guy the hit sign.
Well, Judge has drawn the most walks of any hitter in the American League. 87 walks this year. 420 on base percentage. And he draws a 4-pitch walk. So DeGrom keeping everything away. Issues his second walk of the night. And now 2 aboard for Gregorius. By the way, we mentioned the Mets' depleted rotation. There was good news and bad today. Good news, Noah Syndergaard threw his first bullpen session since the lat injury. Through 20 pitches, felt great. Good news, Matt Harvey will make his second rehab start tomorrow night for Brooklyn. Bad news, Seth Lugo on the disabled list. Impingement in his shoulder, but they're also concerned about his elbow because he has a partially torn elbow ligament. And the guy on the right there, Robert Gesellman, back from the DL tomorrow night from the hamstring injury to take Lugo's start at Citi Field. So 2 out of 2 on for Gregorius, who's 1 for 2, singled and flied out. And he hits one sharply. Cabrera on the backhand, up and throwing him out. Beautiful play by Cabrera. That saved a run. There was a time when Asdrubal was reluctant to play second base, but he's played it awfully well. Still 3-0 Yankees after 5. Just 3 singles for the Mets over the first 5 innings in their first meeting with Sonny Gray, who's making his Yankee home debut, and he's got 5 scoreless innings under his belt. Third time through the batting order now. Curtis Granderson leads off in the 6th. Curtis is 0 for 2, flying out, line to right, and he takes a fastball high for ball 1. Gray has walked 1, he's struck out 5, and he's got himself a 3-0 lead as we start the 6th. Curtis homered here last night, his 69th in this ballpark. Only 3 players have hit more since they opened the new Yankee Stadium. Curtis played 4 years as a Yankee, had 2 years he hit 40 or more home runs. His last year was an injury-plagued one, so that barely counted. Gray finds the inside corner, 2-1. Sonny Gray from Smyrna, Tennessee, where he not only was a baseball pitcher, also was a star quarterback, won 2 state titles.
That's right.
Granderson hooks one deep, but foul. Well up in the second deck.
They bring Fraser over with 2 strikes now over to the right side of the infield. Got 3 guys in the shift.
I mean, quarterbacks are supposed to be tall, just like right-hand pitchers, right?
I bet you he had a shotgun of an arm.
Yeah, it seems that way. This is low 3-2.
He had some speed. He could run the Delaware wing tee. That way he could hand it off, do some running, and throw some touchdowns. The Delaware wing tee.
Oh gosh, you East Coast guys. We got the West Coast offense where I'm from.
Tubby Raymond, right? That's Delaware wing tee. You know who Tubby Raymond's son was? The original Philadelphia Fanatic.
That's right.
It all comes back to baseball. 3-2 coming, and Granderson yanks one foul.
You weren't running any West Coast offense in your day, were you?
No, that was
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Don Coryell wasn't around yet. He was assistant coach for Sid Gilman back in those days.
John Hadel and the Chargers.
Yes, sir.
Good turn at bat here for Granderson. 3-2 from Gray, and it's in the air to center field. Ellsbury back a few strides. Plenty of room. 1 out. And Gray's retired 6 in a row after he experienced a brief spot of trouble in the 4th.
No, I don't think there's anything other than being really impressed by Gray. I've watched him pitch maybe a half-dozen games, and what he does, which I like, is that he likes to pitch in both sides, left-handers and right-handers. And he's got 2 breaking balls. He's got one that's a overhand curveball and one that's slider used against Rosario. So he's really got all 4 pitches. And if you talk to anyone that's ever been around Sonny Gray, he is a bulldog as far as a competitor on the mound.
Well, I'll chime in here. That's the first time I've seen him pitch. And what I like about him is that he has the ability, if he gets the hitters to chase the bad breaking ball, he can feed that bad breaking ball all day long like Carlton used to do. It's very impressive. And he throws his fastball too. He's not a breaking ball pitcher.
I don't know if I've ever seen Cabrera swing at breaking balls that bad. It's almost like he's not seeing it out of the hand of Sonny Gray.
He's way quick, is he not? Yeah. To say the least.
Gray struck out Cabrera on a slider his first time up tonight. That's as hard as he's thrown tonight. Tapped slowly. Gray off the mound and makes the play. That awkward spot where runner, ball, and fielder all come together.
Now you can run over that pitcher right there if you want to, as long as he catches the ball.
Once he has the ball.
Once he has the ball, you can run him over, and it just doesn't happen in today's game anymore. It's a little tea and crumpets, as W.C. Fields would say. A little high tea.
He showed you a little bit of the quickness, though, that Sonny Gray had to get over to keep that ball fair.
Tea and crumpets. Yes. Go away, you bother me. Don't play on the freeway.
Here's Cespedes with 2 out. An infield hit to deep short in the 4th inning. 1 for 2. Flashes one back into the screen. 0-1.
I think Gray's fastball has got some sneak to it too, Ronnie. You know, it's got some sneak.
Well, I think part of it is that real methodical kind of windup with that slow kind of balanced at the very top, hesitate and then goes. Punch the lower half of his body and his feet, turns sideways. Watch how long he holds and balances with that high leg kick. You can tell that he has incredibly strong legs there. You need that.
That's something you develop as a kid because you're a little guy and you want to try and throw harder.
Yeah, maybe because he probably had to use more of his entire body to try to get the ball up there with the fast velocity than your bigger athlete.
At the feet of Cespedes, 2-2.
This is like he's got a 2 or 3 part kind of windup. He gets the sign, and then he has a little bit of pause, and then he lifts that left leg higher and comes to the plate.
Slowly hit down to Frazier. The running throw. Cespedes beats it out. Second infield hit of the night for Cespedes.
Frazier playing very deep with 2 strikes. And there's nothing wrong, it seems, with Mr. Cespedes' hammy.
Well, we're going to wait and see if the Yankees challenge this, but he did appear to be safe.
He didn't catch the front of that bag. He caught the top of the bag, like we saw Harper. And that bag was wet that Harper skidded across.
So a little grimace by Cespedes after he came across the bag.
You see his toe kind of dragged a little bit there in that left toe. Left foot, the toe of the left foot, I should say. Be more specific.
Well, he has aired it out a couple of times tonight. Here's Conforto, who has an infield hit and a walk tonight.
Well, here's the hustle down the line, smell a hit, we used to say. Watch the bend here. That puts a little drag of that left foot, and that puts a little stress on that that quad. He's okay.
I've heard conversation over the last few days about the configuration of the bases and whether they might have contributed to Bryce Harper's injury, and whether baseball needs to look at maybe flattening the base or changing the material of the base.
Yeah. Well, do something when it's wet. And a lot of, like I said the other night, is that when your spikes kind of wear down a little bit, you're more on the soles of your feet, and then you can really skip over that bag.
Well, if you watch baseball films from the 40s, 50s, the bags were much more pliable.
That's right.
They were much more cushy.
Yes.
They weren't as hard and stiff as they are now. You wonder whether that's something they might want to address. Plus, they replace them every 3 innings. I don't know whether that's an issue as well.
I gotta believe the bases. Okay, they replace them, say, and this. I mean, are they discarded for good? I gotta believe they come back.
They sell them. Game used bases.
Cost benefit analysis, guys.
But Buck Showalter was talking about how bases should be more pliable so that on head first slides players don't hurt their fingers hitting the bases as well, which makes some sense. That's driven to right center field, but Judge is right there waiting for it to retire the side. Conforto hit it hard, but Judge in the right spot. 6 scoreless innings for Sonny Gray. He's got a 3-0 lead in the 6th. Yankees. Jacob deGrom gave up a run-scoring hit to Aaron Hicks in the 3rd, a 2-run homer to Jacoby Ellsbury in the 4th. Gary Sanchez leads off the home 6th for the Yankees. Sanchez had a broken bat single in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, 1 for 2. Still a very low pitch count for deGrom. American League ballpark, don't have to worry about hitting for your pitcher when you're behind. You go as far as your ability and your pitch count takes you. Sanchez unloads to deep left field. Forget that. That is way out of here. Sanchez with his 2nd home run of the series, his 21st of the year. The Yankees have gone deep twice tonight and they lead 4-0.
Keith, I'm not sure if that was a changeup or just a bad breaking ball. I thought it was a change.
I thought it was a change too. We'll take a pick. Take a look here.
Yeah, it was a change.
Down inner half.
Chase Headley groundsman right at Rosario. And that's the first out of the inning.
Little leg kick. Didn't fool him, did it?
When he takes the hand off the bat at times, he looks a little bit like Pujols with his finish.
That's a good call. Cheap pitch cast on the home run.
Yeah, right down the pipe.
Well, in this year of the home run, Jacob deGrom has now surrendered 23 long balls. He had never given up more than 16 in a season before this.
I think that's a win. in the way the game's gone this year.
Ellsbury, who homered his last time up, swings over the curveball and it's 0-2. Ellsbury's home run was a line drive into the 2nd row in right field. His 6th home run of the year. And the 2nd time he's gone deep against deGrom. In 11 career at bats.
Oh, I like the sound of that organ. I just got to throw that in there, Garrett.
Shades of Jane Jarvis.
There you go.
Or Eddie Layton. Oh, and 2 to Ellsbury with Frazier on deck. One, two. Check swing, and he went around, strike 3. So Ellsbury strikes out on the changeup. 2 out of the inning. Let's check in with the studio. Michelle Yu has a game break brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Thanks, Michelle. Just to put those 6 runs for the Rays tonight in context, the Rays had scored 12 runs in their last 10 games coming into tonight. Shut out 5 times in 8 games on their last homestand. So Duda's home run certainly a welcome spark.
Well, they hit a lot of home runs. They struck out a lot. Everyone went cold at the same time, but they got 6 runs on the board tonight.
Frazier hits one out to left, right at Cespedes, and that retires the side. But the Yankees added their lead. Gary Sanchez homers for the 2nd straight night. 21st of the year, a no-doubter. After 6 in the Bronx, 4-0 Yankees. Thanks, Michelle. She's busy.
Yes.
Wilmer Flores leads off in the 7th against Sonny Gray. 94 pitches, 6 scoreless innings for Gray. Wilmer's 0 for 2 tonight. Gray has thrown as many as 108 pitches in a game this year. 119 is his career high. making his third start for the Yankees and his first at home, and so far it could not have gone better for Gray and the Yankees. Dominic Smith on deck. Ahmed Rosario behind him. Yankees have the bullpen working. Tommy Kahnle, the former Rocky, is up. Good looking breaking ball by Gray. 1-2.
That's sharp.
One-two coming. And he got a piece of it and goes down in a heap. Well, the Yankees may be a second-place team, but no team works harder at the trading deadline to try and get better. The deal for Gray, the deal with the White Sox that brought them Frazier, Robertson, and Kahnle. They got Jaime Garcia for the Twins after the Twins had just gotten him from the Braves. Some of the other moves in the American League East. The Orioles were ridiculed for their moves, but Hellickson's pitched well. Beckham's been unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
He's hitting .500 since the trade. Addison Reed has had some rough days for the Red Sox. Duda and Bruce have already contributed for their new teams.
And the team that maybe we can add in the next couple of days, Houston's really working hard, it seems like, on the Justin Verlander trade.
Well, they got Tyler Clippard yesterday.
Liriano, right?
The Astros actually won a game today, which has been a rare event lately. Just their 5th win in their last 17 games. They beat the Diamondbacks. I mean, they still have a 12-game lead, so it's not an issue of whether they're going to win the division. It's just a matter of them feeling as though they're stocked sufficiently to compete with the Indians and the Red Sox and whoever else might be there in the postseason. Almost had a couple of really good at bats tonight, just trying to get a good finish to one. 3-2 from Gray. Fouls back the high fastball. So.
I think that part of Gray's game, and Wilmer's had some nice at bats, is when he gets ahead. He's done it a lot today. Is throw that breaking ball. He's got a good sharp slider or curve that he wants to get the hitter to chase. He's willing to go 3-2. He's had a lot of 3-2 counts.
Up over 100 pitches now. And Wilmer draws the walk, so that one ends in a better result for Wilmer after some quality at bats tonight. We'll see whether Joe Girardi is going to continue on with Gray or make a move with Dominic Smith coming up. Let's answer our Verizon trivia question: which pitcher has the most wins in postseason history? And it is Andy Pettit. Yep. He is first. Smoltz is second. And Tom Glavine's third on that list. Of course, he had the clincher in the Braves' only World Series championship during that 14-year run of division titles. Well, Gray's going to get at least one more batter, facing Smith, who has struck out and grounded out, and he misses with a changeup for ball one. The walk to Flores was the second of the night for Gray.
Got a shift on Dominic Smith. 3 infielders on the right side.
You know what? You're down 4-0. Bunt. I mean, really?
Yeah.
It's 4-0. Get some base runners. Fly ball deep left field. Back goes Hicks to the warning track. Back at the wall. Leaping. It's out of here. Dominic Smith with his first major league home run. An opposite field 2-run shot. Forget the bunt. Dominic Smith's first 2 major league RBIs as he goes the other way for a 2-run homer to cut the Yankee lead in half. It's now 4-2. No silent treatment.
And that's impressive.
That's going to be all for Sonny Gray. He leaves after 6 innings plus in his Yankees home debut. Had been working on a shutout till Dominic Smith breaks it up with his first big league home run. Dom's going to make sure he gets the ball back from that Met fan.
Fastball up and away, and that's impressive going the opposite field right there.
Got just enough over the outstretched glove of Hicks and into the front row. So Smith knocks Gray out. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. We'll be right back to the Bronx. After 6 innings plus, he leaves with a 4-2 lead. And hard-throwing Tommy Kahnle will come out of the bullpen to relieve him.
Well, those are his numbers for the season. He's only allowed a couple of runs in 12 appearances for the Yankees.
Came over from the White Sox in the same deal with David Robertson and Todd Frazier. Ahmed Rosario, first man to face him. It's a 2-hop comebacker, and Kahnle throws him out for the first out of the inning.
Well, here's the long ball right here. Home run number 1. Shoulder tucked in. I thought it was a fly ball, and Hicks right here just runs out of room. Good effort, but a nice display of power to the opposite field by the big guy. Congratulations. Get your ball club back in the game.
First home run, first 2 RBIs in the major leagues, all in one fell swoop. Here's Travis d'Arnaud, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Fly down, grounded out. Tommy Kahnle, who's from the Albany, Troy, Schenectady area, Latham, New York, Shaker High School. He was the first from his high school to make the big leagues. We recently saw the second, Jeff Hoffman, who pitches for the Rockies, from the same high school. And he's behind on d'Arnaud, 2-0.
Got a big arm too, 99 miles an hour.
He's had much better control this year than his first 3 years in the big leagues. Last year 6.6 walks per 9 innings. This year 1.8. But he's behind d'Arnaud, 2-0. And comes right after him, 2-1. See all the hot moments from some of the top high school ballers as SNY and Overtime team up to bring you the best New York City hoops highlights all summer long. Check it out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Juan Lagares waits on deck. Well, tomorrow night the scene shifts to Flushing as the Mets and Yankees continue their Subway Series. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock tomorrow night right here on SNY. And d'Arnaud bounces one over the mound. Torreyes is there to play it. And the quick throw gets Darno for the second out.
So when I go over the Triborough tomorrow, make a right, not a left, right? Get over the Flushing.
I don't think he'll make that mistake.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable getting the Flushing.
You know, coming here is easy until the last 20 minutes when you sit on the Deegan and don't move.
So true.
For the last 2 miles.
Major Deegan's awful quick. He's hard to beat.
Like the Van Wyck. Nobody's ever beaten the Van.
No.
Lagares is 1 for 2. Had a base hit to right field in the third. Struck out in the fifth against Gray, who fanned 5 in 6 innings. Allowed 2 runs, 5 hits, walked 2. Gray has a chance for his first win as a Yankee. That's cutting the lead in half, though, on Dominic Smith's home run here in the 7th. Yankee bullpen was so overpoweringly impressive last night. Between Green, Robertson, and Betances last night, 4 2/3 innings, no runs, 1 hit, 8 strikeouts. The exchange is being made for the Dominic Smith baseball. They're offering a bat, apparently. The guy in the Syndergaard jersey may be holding out. Lagares down on strikes, and the inning's over. So Canely comes in and gets 3 in a row after Dominic Smith's home run cuts the Yankee lead 4-2.
I'm taking my chances with all the odds in my favor. I'm shooting for the moon, taking a gamble on you. I'm shooting for the moon and taking a gamble on you.
Shooting for the moon is the theme of Major League Baseball this year, isn't it?
That's right.
Ellsbury and Sanchez have homered for the Yankees tonight. Dom Smith is first in the majors for the Mets. 4-2 Yankees as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Jacob deGrom still out there chucking.
He's the chucker.
Yeah, different kind of game here for Jacob now. He got him a couple of runs, got him a couple of runs closer.
But it's interesting, right? If this were a National League game, he'd be out of the game.
That's right.
Number 9 spot just batted, but in an American League ballpark, he can continue on.
Helps though. He's their best pitcher. You want him out there as long as you can.
Now, you had the experience of pitching in the American League. It's got to feel different when you get to this point in a game, knowing that you can stick around a little bit longer.
You do, but if you're in his situation now you're starting to smell. If I keep it close, a bloop and a blast gets me back in the game, or at least a no decision.
People's United Bank brings you tonight's starters. Gray gave up the 2-run homer to Smith, the last batter he faced, breaking up his shutout bid. DeGrom has not been on top of his game. It equals the most runs he's allowed in his last dozen starts, but still out there, only 77 pitches deep through 6 innings. Faced the number 9 hitter Ronald Torreyes, who's been a pest tonight. Torreyes hit one just over the third base bag for a double and scored in the third. And he blooped one just beyond Rosario's reach into shallow left field for a base hit in the 5th. So it's Torreyes, Gardner, and Hicks up for the Yankees in the 7th. And the high strike, 0-1. Torreyes pulls that one down to Flores, and Walmer throws him out, one away. So Torreyes retired for the first time tonight. Now Brett Gardner, who's 0 for 2 in a sacrifice tonight.
Be careful with Gardner. He's got some pop, but he loves to jump all over that first pitch. You got to be careful with that pitch. Betances gets loose.
Saw Betances in the 9th inning last night with Aroldis Chapman not available. Presumably Chapman is available tonight. Betances getting ready for the 8th. Takes the curveball down, and it's 1-1. Never had that great rhythm tonight, has he?
He has not.
No, he's always battles.
Yeah.
And we've seen it so many times.
I mean, that last start against the Phillies, he was locked in. That's it to short. Rosario on the backhand, the off balance throw right on target. Another pretty play by Rosario for the second out.
Very nice. Talking about the backhand, Gary. Remember when he first came up, a couple balls, he tried to come around there. He uses the backhand and throws on the run. Beautifully done.
Gets a speedy man in the process.
You got that right.
Gardner's 33, but he still gets down the line.
Don't want to jinx him, but notice since he's been up, the accuracy of his arm also.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Aaron Hicks, who drove in the first run of the night with a base hit in the 3rd. Only 4 strikeouts for DeGrom tonight. That gives him 183 for the year, second in the National League behind Max Scherzer. .200 strikeouts will be a nice milestone for him. Maybe 200 innings. It's at 158 right now.
How many games the Mets have left?
45 after tonight.
So 9 more starts.
Well, if he makes all 9 starts, he'll certainly get to 200.
Yes. Plus.
At 191 last year, that was his career high.
Why wouldn't he make all 9 starts? He's having a fantastic year.
And Hicks takes a slider for a strike. 2-2. 2 years ago 191. Last year his season was curtailed.
That's right.
DeGrom's been taking a lot of time in between pitches, more than normal.
It's almost like he's in between what he wants to throw.
Two off the plate, full count. Aaron Judge would be next.
Three-two change up here. Let's see.
Chopper. DeGrom off the mound. Gets Hicks at first. Side retired. 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th for DeGrom after the Mets got a little closer. Top of the order coming up in the 8th.
Famous cat since Garfield. You deserve it. Hi, try one of these. It worked for me.
Find out what Keith was up to when he was stuck home alone with his cat while recovering from knee surgery. The latest episode of SNY.TV's digital series, The Amazing Life, presented by Coca-Cola. Check it out now, or as it says in the copy, check it out meow on SNY.TV/Coca-Cola. Did you write that promo?
No, I did not. But I liked my last couple lines when I said, I want to stay home when Haji misses me. Ronnie can take over the rest of the season.
I thought the whole thing was hilarious.
I panicked. I thought you were really thinking that.
Ronnie, I can teach you how to sigh in those extra inning games.
That was a great line. That one in. Look away. Look away, Haji. Dylan Betances leads off, pitches the 8th inning as Curtis Granderson leads off and takes a strike. Betances worked the 9th inning for his 7th save of the year last night. Now looking to set up Aroldis Chapman. Curtis is 0 for 3 tonight, and that borderline fastball is called a strike, and it's 0-2.
So trying to hit a ball thrown off the top of a mountain with this guy.
One and two to Curtis, who's hit 3 drives to the outfield tonight, 1 to each position. And he foul tips 1 for strike 3. 98-mile-an-hour fastball from Betances for the first down. Cadillac brings you drive around the majors. Gio Gonzalez took a no-hit bid into the 6th inning tonight. Went 6 scoreless innings. Nationals lead the Angels. Max Stassi hit a home run in the Astros win, just their 5th win in their last 17. And Stanton again, 6 straight games. That's 2 shy of the major league record, by the way. Dale Long, Don Mattingly, Ken Griffey Jr. Who's going to bet against him? By the way, speaking of streaks, you see the one Joey Votto's on? Votto coming into tonight had reached base at least twice in 19 straight games. The record is 22, held by Ted Williams. He's been so hot that Joe Madden tried a little different kind of defense against him last night.
4 outfielders last night by Madden and the Cubs. What did Votto do? Hit a double down the line.
So you're saying it didn't work?
Nothing works against Votto.
0-2 to Cabrera, who's 0 for 3 tonight, and he hits one off the fists, charging Gregorius, and the running throw on target for the second out.
Pretty impressive pitching by Betances. Threw wicked sliders to Cabrera, got him with 2 strikes. Even though his balls wants it in, he comes inside and ties him up. Completely breaks down his swing. Watch his right arm. Look at it come in, bend. Try to get the barrel through. That's also my day called serious inside out. It just when Betances gets ahead of you 0-2, you're in trouble.
So now Cespedes, who has 2 infield singles tonight. By the way, update: Joey Votto has walked twice tonight. 20 straight games he's reached base at least twice. 2 shy of Ted Williams' record.
Votto's at a place in his career where if you don't throw him strikes, he's got such a great eye, he'll walk. 2 walks tonight. And if you do throw strikes, he'll hit it hard somewhere. Locked in.
You wish he had a little bit better team around him. I mean, their pitching is just dreadful.
You know, his comments have always been, though, he likes playing in Cincinnati and he wants to be there when they turn it around, if they turn it around.
He's always in great shape. He is a physical specimen, that is for sure. He's a very strong man.
2-0 slider for a strike. Del Betances, native New Yorker. Grand Street Campus High School in Brooklyn. He has been a star in his hometown. 4-time All-Star now, despite never being a regular closer.
Well, I remember when I first heard his name, you know, it was going to be as a starting pitcher, and that didn't work out. They made the change for him in the bullpen, and boy, his career has taken off.
Cespedes trying to get on for Conforto in a 2-run game. And he takes a borderline strike, 3-2.
That didn't have to be.
It's that high strike again.
Yeah.
Adam Hamari, the home plate umpire, ruled it such. No argument from Cespedes. 3-2 count. And the slider misses for ball 4, and Cespedes is on. So he threw him a 2-0 slider. He threw him a 3-2 slider, and that gets Conforto to the plate as the tying run. So Cespedes on base 3 times tonight.
Well, he usually has great control with that slider, but you're taking a gamble when you throw that pitch and it's not a strike, because now Conforto has a chance to tie the ball game.
Agreed.
Conforto faced Betances last night, got the count to 3-1, and then grounded out. It'll shift on against Michael. And it goes to the backstop off the glove of Sanchez, and down to second goes Cespedes. Wild pitch charge to Betances, puts a runner into scoring position.
Just pull that fastball across the strike zone. Sanchez called for it on the outside corner to miss the foot inside. Now they're going over what sign they're going to use.
I mean, Gary Sanchez is a big man. Betances makes him look tiny.
Yeah. Makes everyone look tiny.
Well, except for Judge.
That's right.
They can go nose to nose. Backdoor slider misses 2-0. in the Yankee bullpen. He's had a fabulous year.
Well, there's the two guys in the order you don't want to have hurt you, and the Mets want to have up.
Cespedes at second with 2 out. 2-0 to Conforto. Wilmer Flores on deck. And the 2-0 slider in for a strike. That had some late break.
And that's one to take. 2-0. That's not one you want to swing at.
Sanchez had a hard time catching this one. Not crossed up, but still couldn't catch the slide. Almost didn't catch the slider.
He's going to drop another one on him.
And that one just missed. Now it's 3-1. Betances has given up only 1 home run this season. Hasn't given up a home run in this ballpark since 2 years ago, which is amazing for a right-hand pitcher here. And a 3-1 slider for a strike. Well, full count.
He's going to get it 3-2.
And the people that follow the Yankees will tell you at times Betances has better control of his slider than he does his fastball.
That's a pretty good one right there, isn't it? Okay, let's see what he chooses.
In there, strike 3 call. Fastball got him looking. Side retired.
Set him up.
Two strikeouts in the inning for Betances. Got the knees. Got the call.
All those sliders and a 3-2 fastball. Williams gets the call.
Yeah, well. Last of the 8th inning, Aaron Judge leads off for the Yankees against Jacob deGrom. Drives one to left field. That's down for a base hit, and will go back to the wall. Cespedes plays the carom. Judge going to try for 2. The throw by Cespedes. He's safe. One-hop strike, but Judge got in under the tag by Cabrera for a 2-base hit.
Goes out and gets this fastball belt high and up, and Judge can run. And look at this throw off the wall. Perfect throw. He just got in there. Right on the money.
15th double of the year for Judge to go with his 36 home runs. And now D.D. Gregorius. Now Jerry Blevins has been throwing in the Mets bullpen, but Terry Collins will stick with DeGrom against Gregorius with Sanchez on deck. Gregorius 1 for 3 tonight, and he goes after a first pitch curveball and fouls it off.
Well, here's the head first slide with his left hand outstretched.
Well, it's almost like his right hand got caught under his body, but you saw that late adjustment he made to try to get that slide to the inside part of the bag.
Well, Gregorius has got to get a ball that he can pull here. This is a big run out there for the Yankees on second base.
Rosario playing right behind Judge at second base. And Gregorius got beat inside with the fastball, and it's 0-2.
Boy, he could put a little extra mustard on that one. This beat him badly.
95 in the 8th. Woo! Got to go back in there, don't you?
Look at him break down that swing. Yes, sir. Give him a second helping.
Please, sir.
I have another.
DeGrom ahead on Gregorius 0-2 with Sanchez on deck. And he sails that one up and away. 1-2. Gary Sanchez, who homered his last time up, waiting on deck. DeGrom's given up 2 home runs tonight. He's given up 4 runs and 8 hits. Aroldis Chapman getting ready for the 9th. Yankees trying to get him some extra cushion here. Judge at second and nobody out. Again, D'Arnaud sends him outside, and Gregorius gets a piece of the changeup and fouls it off.
Well, when you're a big guy with the long arms, look at the extension on this swing. So where does that make you vulnerable, folks, when you got those long arms? Up and in. Crowd him. Kid's going to be a fine player. He's got a future in front of him.
Already pretty good. One-two coming. Stop the swing on the high fastball. 2-2. Only 95 pitches for DeGrom, working in the 8th inning. He's only walked 2 and he's only struck out 4. That's helped keep his pitch count down.
Didi did not swing at that pitch, but he wanted to. I would double up inside.
He's not a guy who walks very much. He flares one behind third. It's going to drop for a base hit. Judge gets to third. Gregorius will hold at first, and the Yankees have runners at the corners with nobody out.
That is unfortunate. Boy, oh boy. Ties him up again. And there's just nothing you can do about this.
That's where you need David Wright to make the bare hand play.
That's right.
Like San Diego.
Gregorius has had a couple of bloops and nothing Judge could do there.
And Worthen out to talk to DeGrom.
They've got to bring the infield in here. They can't give up a run.
Well, it's a situation where DeGrom has got to be thinking strikeout from the beginning of the at bat against Gary Sanchez. And how does he best go about doing that?
Well, the pitch he got beat on for the home run was a changeup. I think that Sanchez, in my estimation, okay, he can hit the fastball to right field, but he has a slider, more of a slider speed bat, in my estimation. So you speed it up if you throw him something soft. You got to crowd him inside, and then once you get him thinking inside, you can just go away badly. He'll chase, but you got to be able to establish in.
Entire infield hanging around at the mound. They want to discuss, among other things, what happens if Gregorius takes off from first base in a first and third nobody out situation.
Gregorius is going nowhere with Sanchez up.
What is he perturbed about?
I think he's not sure what they were talking about. Like, I don't think he's sure what they want to do defensively.
Well, Cabrera's coming in, so is Rosario. Flores still playing behind the bag. Now he moves in at third, so everybody's in. Smith has to hold the runner at first. So the infield is up all the way around. First and third, nobody out. 4-2 game in the eighth. And Sanchez fouls it back.
You know, he's like, what are we doing? Let's go. Get it together.
I think they wanted to know where the infield was playing because there seemed to be some confusion about that. But you had to play it in.
Well, Jake's like, well, let's decide. I got a pitch here.
Yeah, let's get the ball rolling.
Sanchez, a broken bat single, a strikeout, and a home run tonight. 2 for 3. And a nasty pitch away, and now it's 0-2.
2 straight fastballs right after him. He knows he's got to rear back and fire. Here, it's a big out.
So do you go from outside in here?
In is good. If you go up, you want it way out of the strike zone.
Chase Headley waiting on deck. 0-2 to Sanchez. There it is, up out of the strike zone. 1-2.
Well, he's reaching back for something extra here. He's got to.
He doesn't use it very often, but occasionally when he needs a strikeout, he'll throw that indoor slider, which he throws right at the hip of the right-handed hitter and breaks it over the inside corner.
100th pitch of the night coming up from DeGrom. In the air, center field. They're going to run in at least. Lagares back to the track. At the wall, he makes the catch. Great catch by Lagares. Judge tags and scores. Sacrifice fly by Sanchez, but that could have been a whole lot worse. Lagares showing off the gold and running that ball down. It's 5-2 Yankees.
Just didn't get this pitch in enough. Good at bat by Sanchez. Look at Lagares.
Look how he was playing.
Oh my goodness, what just a beautiful play.
He is amazing.
If it's in the yard, he's catching it.
Well, he saves DeGrom. A whole lot of discomfort there. Yankees do get a run out of it, and DeGrom's night comes to an end. With Headley coming up, Jerry Blevins is coming into the game. 5-2 Yankees in the eighth. We'll be right back. Jerry Blevins working for a third straight day.
See, very rarely does he come in to face the right-hander, but the switch hitting Headley turns around.
Gregorius at first and 1 out. Headley takes inside. Headley, a much better left-hand hitter than right, 50 points higher from the left side. He's only had 1 career at bat against Blevins, 0 for 1, and the guy on deck, Ellsbury, left-hand hitter, 0 for 5 against Blevins. So this is the spot for Jerry after DeGrom went 7 1/3. And fastball strike 1-1. Coming up tonight on Geico Sports Night after the post game. All the reaction to this game, plus basketball rumors and football training camps and everything else you could possibly want. All things New York sports, they say. Geico Sports Night after the post game. Grounded down to third, a foul ball. 1-2. Not home, no problem. Watch every SNY Mets game wherever you are on any device all season long with live streaming presented by Verizon. Just download the NBC Sports app or visit SNY.TV, your home for live streaming coverage of every SNY Mets game. Blevins faced just 1 batter last night. Through 2 pitches, got Gregorius on a 3-foot ground ball. Now ahead on Headley, 1-2. And the curveball drilled into left for a base hit. So Headley has his first hit of this series, and the Yankees have their 3rd hit of this inning.
Hanging breaking ball up.
So first and second and 1 out, and now Ellsbury, who hit a 2-run homer in the 4th inning off DeGrom, one of 2 home runs Jake allowed tonight. DeGrom went 7 1/3, allowed 9 hits, charged with 5 runs so far, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, most runs he's allowed in a couple of months. Ellsbury 1 for 3 on the night, 0 for 5 in his career against Blevins. And a first pitch curveball for a strike. Ellsbury's home run was his 6th of the year. Jason Bradford and Kevin McGowan, who's yet to make his big league debut, up in the Mets bullpen. Curveball fouled, and it's 0-2. So Kevin McGowan out there sporting the stirrups.
That's right.
Looks like a latter-day Sean Gilmartin. Look at those.
Like it.
That's the real deal.
He's got that a white pitching toe on his left shoe there.
McGowan arrived in the 8th inning on Sunday after flying from Vegas. He would have been perfect 12th inning pitcher. 1-2 as Garneau keeps it close enough to him. So Gregorius can't break. One and 2 to Ellsbury. Todd Frazier on deck. Let's have the 2 right-handers up in the bullpen. Gregorius at second, Headley at first with 1 out. And Ellsbury takes strike 3 call. Fastball got him looking for the 2nd out of the inning.
Good setup there by Jerry with the breaking ball to get to the fastball in.
And here comes Terry Collins. With Frazier coming up, he'll bring in one of the right-handers. He had Bradford and McGowan both up, so Blevins faces 2. He'll take his exit. Bradford coming in. We'll be right back.
11th game here for the Mets.
Bradford worked a 1-2-3 inning his last time out on Sunday in Philly. Todd Frazier's 0 for 3 tonight. Was robbed of a hit on a tremendous play by Rosario back in the 4th. One of a couple of beauties for Rosario tonight. Lagares has made some big plays in center field, but not enough. Mets had just 2 runs last night, just 2 runs tonight. Two and out to Frazier. In the 9th, the Mets will be due to send up Flores, Smith, and Rosario against Aroldis Chapman. And Frazier loses the bat, which sails down past Wilmer Flores. I'd say he was fooled.
It's called the old sidearm slider that gets you out in front.
Well, Bradford has made an impression very quickly in his major league career by throwing strikes. This is his 11th outing. Gregorius at second, Headley at first with 2 down. And Frazier goes after another slider, and it's 2-2.
You know, you have a guy like Frazier that hasn't been in the National League for a while, came up with the Reds, and boy, his swing just doesn't look the same as it did when he was with Cincinnati.
2-2. Just off the plate with the fastball, full count.
Well, it's got a couple of years of the same thing going on. Maybe they've caught up to him.
Yeah.
Figured him out. He's become an all or nothing hitter. I mean, he's hitting .211, 19 home runs, but .211.
He had .225 last year with 40 home runs. Runners get set to go. 3-2, 2 out. And Frazier bounces one slowly foul.
Those are those Dave Kingman kind of years.
And then Kingman had that 1 year with the Cubs
when they contended, and Dave really played and the kind of player that he was, because he was an extraordinary athlete.
285, I think, 48 home runs that year.
Yep, he was incredible. He was focused.
Seventh pitch of the at bat coming to Frazier. And he pops it up. Easy for Dom Smith. Side retired. Yankees add a run on a sacrifice fly. They'll hand it off to Chapman for the 9th. 5-2 Yankees. family. Here's that mom won the kid. Ninth inning. Yankees trying to make it 2 straight in the Bronx before the scene moves to Flushing tomorrow night. And 29-year-old Aroldis Chapman goes for career save number 198.
Well, his last 2 appearances have not been great. He's walked 4 in 2 1/3 innings. His last appearance against the Red Sox here was a blown save.
His strikeouts are down. His walks are up. He had a stint on the disabled list in May and June with some shoulder issues. Wilmer Flores leads off. And all around baseball, people wonder whether Chapman has a little bit of a World Series hangover.
Well, I go back to when he was with Cincinnati. He would routinely maybe be in 50 games a year, and then all of a sudden shoved into much more of a workload last year after being traded to the Cubbies. And then, of course, the postseason.
Right. Wilmer Flores walked and scored his last time up, and he takes outside.
It's a case of, we're not re-signing you, so we're going to use you as much as we can.
Well, and he signed the most expensive contract a reliever ever has, 5 years, $85 million with the Yankees. And while he's certainly been good, there are folks in that Yankee bullpen who've pitched a lot better than he has. It is a stocked bullpen, but as Joe Girardi said yet again yesterday, he said Chapman's my closer, and it's going to stay that way, at least for the time being. Jose Reyes is out on deck to bat for Dominic Smith. That's interesting. I guess Terry does not want to expose Smith to this kind of a left-hander at this point.
I would say that you would absolutely want to expose him to the left-hander. In fact, the way he blew the save is that he gave up a home run to a left-handed hitter for the Red Sox.
A young left-hand hitter.
That's right.
Younger than Smith.
That's right. 20.
Rafael Devers. 2-2 to Flores.
Oh,
and that one sails high. It's a slider from Chapman.
You don't want to walk anybody here.
Sure, maybe it was his changeup, but it was something not a fastball. Three-two to Wilmer, and he got him with the slider. So Chapman fans Flores for the first down.
Not a great slider, but kept on the outside corner. Wilmer expresses his frustration with that swing and miss.
Well, so Reyes bats for Smith, and a lot of Met fans in this crowd who are booing this decision. At least I assume that's what they're booing.
Young left-hand hitter.
I mean, if the Mets were in a pennant race, I would understand it, but I'm not sure I get this.
Yeah, how do you get your young guys? I mean, this is a prime opportunity to have an at bat against one of the premium left-handers and see what your young man can do, right?
I'm in your camp.
Yeah.
Especially after Dominic Smith hit his first big league home run in his previous at bat. Reyes takes a big cut on 2-0 and fouls it back. By the way, do you remember this? Before Dom Smith, the last Met to hit his first major league home run at Yankee Stadium, Kevin Plawecki against CC Sabathia 2 years ago.
Remember that.
Slider for a strike, 2-2.
I'm kind of surprised, Reyes. 2-0. You're down 3 runs and swinging from his shoelaces on 2-0. Kind of got to give the take sign there, Ronnie, I think, huh?
I don't know if they do that anymore.
should be a given, shouldn't it? Down 3 runs in the ninth, 2-0 count.
I would think so.
Nothing's a given anymore.
Slap to the right side. Headley has it bounce off his glove, and Reyes has an infield hit. So Reyes gets aboard, and the Mets need one more base runner to get the tying run to the plate.
Seen a couple balls get by Headley. This one he gets a glove on it. He got the glove. Just a big clank. He got it. It just.
I don't know if you know the answer to this question, Keith, but when you've been playing third base with a certain kind of glove and you go over there to the big glove, is it take some getting used to?
I've never made the transition. I'm a left-hander.
Yeah, I don't.
It's bigger.
Yes, you are.
It's a it's a bigger glove.
Yeah, I mean, it should be easier to catch with it, but it's also a different feel. How about that?
Now Ahmed Rosario's had a tough night at the plate. 2 strikeouts and a comebacker. And now facing Chapman with Reyes at first and 1 out. Headley will play behind Reyes. And Rosario takes a backdoor slider for a strike.
A lot of sliders.
If you remember, we saw this in the World Series when he was running out of gas. He started resorting to his slider. I mean, his fastball tonight was 98. Which for him is diminished velocity.
You know what 98 is? Another slider. 98 is exactly what everyone else is throwing out of the bullpen.
But 98 still pretty doggone good.
Yes, it is.
Right, but this is a guy who's used to throwing 103, 104. One and one to Rosario. There's the fastball, and it misses at 100, 2-1.
I mean, when he was at his best, he was like that 12-year-old in Little League who could shave already, who threw so hard that no one had a chance.
I remember those guys.
Right?
They never grew an inch after they were 12 years old.
Well, when you throw 104, you wonder how many years you can throw 104. Slider hit in the air to right center field. Back in the gap. Judge near the wall. It's out of here. Ahmed Rosario with a 2-run homer off Aroldis Chapman to get the Mets back within a run. His second big league home run. And just like the first one in Philadelphia, he hits it to right center field. And this is now a 1-run ball game.
Oh, does that 9th inning run, 8th inning run for the Yankees loom large? And he threw another slider. And a little hanging slider, and Rosario right on it.
Well, whenever you judge young players, right, you want to judge them how they play late in games. Do they have a little flair for the dramatic? He's shown some of that in this last week.
Last 5 games, 7 for 16 with a couple of home runs. Larry Rothschild, the Yankee pitching coach, out to talk to Chapman before he faces Travis d'Arnaud.
I think Chapman's got to get a little angry and just start rearing back and firing. What's he doing, throwing all this breaking stuff?
It's only the second home run Chapman's allowed this season. The first one came here on Sunday night. So he gets beat by a 20-year-old rookie on Sunday and by a 21-year-old rookie tonight. The only 2 home runs he's allowed this year. So here's d'Arnaud with the Mets down by a run. 1 out and nobody on. Travis is 0 for 3 tonight. Upstairs with the fastball, 0-1.
You're right, Keith. A little angry on that one.
Rear back and fire. No one's going to feel sorry for you.
d'Arnaud 0 for 2 in his career against Chapman.
No.
Ground ball toward the hole. Gregorius sliding on the backhand. The off-balance throw on target. That's a great recovery by Gregorius, who lost his footing a little bit but made a perfect throw.
Well, he gets to the ball nicely. Nice backhand. And threw off balance. Very nice recovery.
And so the Mets are down to their final out. We thought maybe Terry would send up Brandon Nimmo to bat for Lagares in this spot. But with a left-hander on the mound, he'll stay with Lagares.
Well, he tipped his hand early with the Reyes pinch hitting that he likes the righty against the lefty Chapman.
Lagares 1 for 3 tonight. Mets down to their final out. And he shoots one foul. Well, Lagares kept the Mets in this game with a magnificent catch in the bottom of the 8th inning. It brought home the 5th Yankee run, but had he not made the play, there might have been 6 or 7 on the board. Lagares 0 for 3 against Chapman. And that one misses high. 1-1.
Well, he better be careful with that slider. It's a floater, Ronnie. He's not throwing with much velocity, and it's flat.
Yeah, just a spinner up there.
And he just better rear back and fire. And he's out there. There's no mental skills coach right now that's going to help him.
Cut by Lagares, and he fouls it back 1-2, and now the Mets are down to their final strike. Stays alive. Chapman dealing heat now. Mets have stuck around in this game with 2-run homers from their 2 rookies, Smith and Rosario. Now, can somebody else be a hero? Granderson would be next. Grounded over the bag, just foul.
All the right-handed hitters from the Mets, good swings on the slider, not so good on the fastball.
And it's not a great slider. He might do himself well just to throw something, a little fastball in the outside corner, Ron.
Chopped down to Headley. Chapman gets over to cover, and the Yankees hang on to win. Chapman limping a little bit as he covered first base, but he got there. After giving up the 2-run homer to Ahmed Rosario, Chapman hangs on for the shaky save, and the Yankees have taken the first 2 of the Subway Series.
Well, here's the cover right here, RJ. He's hurting getting over there.
Yeah, it wasn't when he got there, it was on his way. So the Mets get 2-run homers from the 2 rookies, Smith and Rosario, but they fall a run shot.
Well, Sonny Gray was at his best through 6 innings plus today. Jacob deGrom was not at his best. Jacob gave up 5 runs in his 7+ innings of work, and Chapman just held on.
Well, you give the Mets credit. They didn't quit on this one. They fought hard, got back in the game. A big win for the Yankees, a tough loss for the Mets. They got to take it back to Flushing, try to get even on these guys.
Tonight's game summary presented by Verizon. Sonny Gray gets his first win for the Yankees in his home debut.